Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and welcome to another edition of Terminally Nerdy's Indie Impressions, where I take a look at independent, non-AAA, and niche titles, giving you my first impressions after at least 2 hours of gameplay, because if it's good enough for the major retailers for refunds, it's good enough for me. And today, I'm going to take a look at an indie Metroidvania that's been out for quite a while, actually. It was voted on to get on Steam Greenlight, and it's called Valdis Story, Abyssal City. But I'm just going to call it Valdis, because that title is incredibly long. In this game, you play as a character named Wyatt, or one of his crew members that you've unlocked. There are 4 playable characters. You start with 2 unlocked, you have to unlock the other 2 through gameplay. Exploring this sort of city under the ocean. And as best I can tell, the story is that Wyatt and his crew were chasing down another ship. They attacked it, the 2 ships broke apart, and everyone went underwater, and then they ended up in this underwater city where some humans are still inhabiting, and Wyatt is trying to find his crewmates while also dealing with both demons and angels that are sort of running rampant throughout the city. You do this through your standard Metroidvania-style exploration. You wander a huge open world. New abilities will give you access to new areas, like eventually you'll learn a wall jump. You can get an ice spell that'll create a platform for you to jump on. You get a dash, which also has a stomp effect to it, and some other stuff. And you basically kind of try to find your way around. Now, as far as Wyatt's story is concerned, you're trying to find your crew members, and that's pretty much his motivation at the start of the game. I haven't found all of his crew members, excuse me. So I'm not entirely certain if his motivations ever change. But it's a fairly standard story, and quite honestly, it didn't really wow me at all. I did try the other character that you start with. She plays entirely differently to Wyatt, so you can kind of choose each character. But they also start at the same place, so as far as I can tell, you actually have to repeat the story with each character. I just unlocked the 3rd character, and I haven't tried him. So I'm wondering if he starts at the very beginning of the game, or if he starts where he hangs out for Wyatt, which is in the library. I'm not sure, honestly. Gameplay, you're going to be jumping, you're going to be swinging your weapon. Wyatt has a huge sword. The other lady, whose name escapes me, she punches. You have some spell casting. And combat feels very stiff. Your attacks have weight to them, but they also lock you into their animations. And it can be very easy to try to swing, have an enemy block, and then have 2 other enemies come up behind you, hit you, and then you get kind of juggled. Your dash can double as a dodge, but it's on a cooldown, so you can't repeatedly use it. And some enemies you have to use it to get behind them and hit them. It's kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest. This also uses a very Castlevania-like mechanic involving your jumps, where if you're hit mid-air, you go into like the hit animation and you stay there till you hit the ground. So if you jump over a pit and they hit you, you're very likely going to fall straight down into that pit, which sometimes will kill you and sometimes will send you to another area. You don't really know. You've got a full suite of stats. They very much were trying to copy like Symphony of the Night, in that you have RPG elements, you have a skill tree, you have stats. The stats affect you in different ways, like strength increases your health and damage, luck increases everything. You have different skill trees depending on the character, so like Wyatt has a tree devoted to his physical attacks, his defenses, and his magic. And you have to work your way down the trees, putting points into them. They lock the tiers based on your character's level. You have a full equipment system, and stuff like that, but in all honesty, it's a very unpolished sort of game. While it looks beautiful, I absolutely adore how it looks. Like, the visual style of this just is great, and the animations are really nice. It doesn't play very well. I'll frequently be hitting buttons on my controller, and there'll be delays, there'll be issues where like the inputs aren't getting put in or not being put in correctly. It seems to have problems registering certain commands when I'm trying to do things like the dash. The UI's a little messy at times, and you have a lot of button combinations you have to push. Like your spells, you have to push a trigger and then push different directions on your keypad, but sometimes it'll not register that you let up on your on your key press, so instead you'll have this issue where it's like, okay, well, I let up on the trigger, and I push left, and I still cast a spell. And there's all sorts of things. There's also some timer-based puzzles for treasure that are ridiculously precise. Like, you have to do them, you can't not screw up. So, like, if you screw up once, the entire puzzle gets reset, essentially. They give you precisely enough time to do the puzzle, assuming you make 0 mistakes. And it's real annoying when these puzzles come up, because some of them are progression-based. Like, you have to, like, hit a switch, dash, 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 get to this door, get through the door, hit another switch, get back through the first door to get to a third door. Just some of the stuff is just really annoying. Another great thing, though, is the music. I would love the soundtrack for this game. Whoever did the music for this game, it is phenomenal. And overall, I've kind of liked it, but kind of don't. Like, you can see that this was definitely made by just, like, I think it's 2 people. They put it together, they put their heart into it, and it's got some flaws, but it's okay. And if you're wanting another Symphony of the Night style game with a very unique style to it, you can kind of put up with the stiff combat and some of the most unforgiving bosses I've ever encountered in one of these games. I mean, some of these bosses feel like puzzles. Like, you have to figure out objects and, like, hit switches and do all these things just so they can become damaged. If you're into that sort of thing, you might want to pick this up. It is $15 on Steam. You can do it with a keyboard and mouse. I probably wouldn't. Also, you cannot rebind any keys at all. You can't rebind a single thing, which is real frustrating because I actually couldn't play it on my original controller because that one has a busted button, and the button in this game that would be used, that was busted, is the attack button. So I had to actually get another controller just so I could play this bloody thing, so... But yeah, it's $15 on Steam. Give it a look if you're interested. I don't know if it's my sort of game, but maybe somebody out there will enjoy it. And, see you on the next one, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and a special thank you to all my patrons who are listed over there on the right hand of the screen. If you want to get your name in those credits, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/terminallynerdy. And hey, be kind to each other and stay nerdy. Thanks.